UNP MP M. Velukumar resigns from the COPE committee.
ඉතින් මේක තුලින් බලාපොරොත්තු වන්නේ මහින්දන් මහත්මයාට විරුද්ධ කෝප් වාර්තාව පරාජය කිරීමට කෝප් එක තුල.
Minister Mangala Samarveera comments on efforts to destabilize the country.
සිංහලාන්තවාදීන් මේ පැත්තේ ඉන්නවා. දෙමළාන්තවාදීන් අර පැත්තේ ඉන්නවා. බලේ හිටපු පොල්මන් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා දැන් මේ රට අස්ථාවර කරන්න බොරු ප්‍රචාර ගෙනියනවා.
Price control mechanism to be introduced for 10 essential items based on presidential directives.
Muslims the world over celebrate Ramazan.
ICC to provide compensation to Kusal Janit. Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I am Dasmia Father. First and foremost, we would like to wish all our Muslim viewers Eid Mubarak. And let's start off with a look at your local stories. Minister of Foreign Affairs Mangala Samarveera says that the reconciliation process in the country is moving ahead on 4 pillars. The minister addressed the media today after returning from Geneva, Switzerland, where he addressed the 32nd session of the UN Human Rights Council.
Foreign Minister Mangala Samarveera revealed today that the reconciliation process is based on 4 main pillars, namely truth-seeking, accountability, reparations and non-recurrence. He pointed out that the Secretariat for Coordination of Reconciliation Mechanisms has already been established through cabinet approval.
We have received approval to set up an office of missing persons and this is being tabled before Parliament as well. We will also set up a truth-seeking commission which will take into account the details provided by all stakeholders, including those affected by the war, the Tamil people as well as the members of the army who fought in the war. We will also obtain the views of the people in the south. We will set up this commission by September.
The minister also made clarifications regarding the accountability process that is to be followed.
We will set up legal institutions to mete out justice if any wrongdoings were committed. Some people are saying that we agreed to hunt down members of the army. We have not made such promises to anyone. However, we know in our hearts that be it an individual, a member of the army or a government, if steps were taken to harm the image of the country, steps will be taken against them. This is not something new to Sri Lanka. In the Sri Lankan army that I know of, there is no one with a twisted mind who would engage in a senseless slaughter of innocent people. If by some chance such an incident took place, then it would be based on orders issued from high up. If the Truth-Seeking Commission finds out that such acts took place through the chain of command, then what is important is not who carried out the task, but who ordered it.
Questions were also raised with regard to international participation in investigations.
If there's a need for international specialists, then there is no harm in obtaining these expertise.
Views were also expressed on the Maxwell Paranagama Commission report.
Maxwell Paranagama Mahatmaya කිව්වේ
According to what Maxwell Paranagama said, he doesn't believe that such weapons were used. However, the international ban against these weapons came into effect on the 1st of August 2010. He said that if by some chance such weapons were used, it won't affect us as the laws came into effect in 2010. What do you think about this?
ජාත්‍යන්තර නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වුණේ 2010 හින්දා ඒක අපිට අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. ඔබතුමා ඒක ගැන මොකද හිතන්නේ?
ඒකත් මන්නම් කියන්නේ තරහ වෙන්න එපා කිව්වට අනවශ්‍ය පඬිත කතාවක්. මොකද එතන
Such statements could give rise to some sort of doubts whether such weapons were used. That is why I keep saying that we should not panic. We should investigate carefully and provide the truth to the entire world.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs also levelled an allegation during the briefing.
There are Sinhala as well as Tamil extremists in the country. They have joined up with the ghost of the powerhouses and are engaging in a propaganda campaign to destabilize the country. Some newspapers are also supporting this effort. We are ready to face all of this. We know that we are on the correct path. There is no other path for the country to travel on.
Minister Sajith Premadasa responded to allegations levelled by the opposition.
The leaders of the previous regime obtained votes by putting forward the demon known as the electric chair. They portrayed a false image saying that they were loyal to the nation. Now the latest allegation that they make against us is that our government is attempting to betray the country and our soldiers through a hybrid court. Various allegations were levelled against the country from the international community. However, the government of good governance has answered all these allegations and we will save our soldiers. Even if allegations are levelled against the former president with regard to war, we will protect him as well. It is the same persons that engaged in fraud and corruption back then who are spreading misinformation and trying to win back their popularity. The minister made the following remarks at an event held to lay the foundation stone to the 31st model village in Godaval Pokuna Hambantota. The village has been named Sat Jayagama.
UNP MP M. Velukumar, who is a member of the Committee on Public Enterprise or COPE, has resigned from the committee.
The MP stated that the letter of resignation was handed over to the Speaker this morning.
The COPE comprises of 26 members and is headed by MP Sunil Handunethi. The committee comprises of 11 MPs from the United National Party, 7 MPs from the United People's Freedom Alliance, 4 MPs from the JVP and 4 MPs from the TNA. The MPs who represent the UPFA include members who support the government as well as members from the joint opposition. MP Velukumar stated that he resigned from the committee because he holds positions in several other committees in Parliament. The COPE is functioning very rapidly these days. I am facing an issue with allocating time for this committee. Therefore, I believe I should hand over this opportunity to someone else. Because of this reason, I handed in my resignation. State Minister Sujiva Senasinghe says that the leadership of his party has expressed that there is a necessity to appoint the State Minister to the COPE committee. Usually we do not receive the membership of both the Public Accounts Committee as well as the COPE Committee. I think the leader made an indication that I will be appointed to both these committees. He has said that I am necessary for the COPE Committee and if I am given a membership, I will definitely accept it. I am also the chairman of the Committee on Public Petition. I will accept both the membership of the PAC and the COPE. There was a policy within COPE to equally get members from the ruling party and the opposition, and usually a prominent member of the opposition works as the chairman of the COPE. Now the government or the UNP has increased the members of their party within the COPE. So how can this remain an unbiased institution? What they are hoping through this is to defeat the COPE report against Mahendran within the COPE itself. They are preparing to appoint Sujiva Senasinghe to the position left vacant within the COPE after the resignation of the Kandy district MP. The leadership of the United National Party is shamelessly trying to sneak in a force to safeguard Arjuna Mahendran from within COPE. This will jeopardize the COPE. What we have to ask is what is the difference between Mahinda Rajapaksa and Ranil Wickremesinghe? Mahinda Rajapaksa mahattaya atara thiyena wenasa mokadda?
In another story that made the headlines tonight, now Co-Cabinet spokesperson Minister Gayantha Karunathilaka says that the government will implement a special program to control the prices of 10 essential items.
Karunathilaka pointed out that the Cabinet of Ministers reached this decision after it was observed that the price of essential goods which were not affected by the increase in value-added tax have gone up drastically in the recent months.
Co-Cabinet spokesperson Minister Karunathilaka said that a special committee was formed by the President to determine the price controls of the essential items. The Prime Minister is also a part of this committee.
The inaugural meeting convened last evening itself, in which a number of special decisions were reached. It was also decided that the decisions reached would be implemented over the next 4 days or so. Concessions will be provided by the government for 10 essential items. This in turn will help control their prices. The special committee also decided yesterday to gazette the 10 essential items that have been identified.
A task force will be created to ensure that the decisions of this special committee are implemented.
A task force will be appointed under the Consumer Affairs Authority. This task force will be able to act around the country through the police divisions.
Deputy Minister Eran Wickramaratne clarified the reasons behind opposition expressed by shop owners to the amendments of VAT.
The issue we are facing is that VAT has been imposed only on selected items. There are around 133 items and 21 services that do not come under the VAT. I know that traders have put forward a number of concerns and issues they are faced with. There should be proper accounts detailing what items are under the VAT and what is not. Therefore, we have decided to implement this in a lenient manner during the course of this year.
A clarification was also granted for the reason behind the increase of VAT by the government.
There was certain amount of debt in the central bank when we came into power. However, the true extent of all loans obtained was revealed about 3 months ago. This is what affected the government. We spent around 96% of our income to pay off loans. The ADB has pledged to grant us $1.5 billion, while the World Bank has pledged to grant us $2.5 billion, out of which fraction of that money has now been granted. VAT will remain in place until we receive all this money and our situation stabilizes. We do not hope to keep this tax forever. By the end of this year, we will be able to provide relief to the public. This was clearly explained by the Prime Minister during yesterday's cabinet meeting.
Muslims the world over celebrate the festival of Ramadan today, following a period of 30 days of fasting and sighting the full moon.
The 9th month of the Muslim calendar is known as Ramadan, and Muslims begin their fast after observing the first moon of the month. The fast ends after the sighting of the first moon of the 10th month of the Muslim calendar, known as Sawal. Eid-ul-Fitr dawns with the sighting of the first moon of the month of Sawal. The main religious observances of the celebrations were conducted this morning at the Colombo Grand Mosque by Chief Cleric Imam M.S.M. Fazlim. I wish all fellow Muslims a blessed Ramadan. There are a number of things that need to be done today. Let us extend a helping hand to those in need. Special prayers to mark the Eid ul-Fitr took place this morning at the Goldface Green. This is the manner in which the Ramadan festival was celebrated at the Davatagaha Mosque in Colombo. Muslims in the east and various other parts of the island celebrated the festival in this manner. This is the manner in which the world over celebrated the festival of Ramadan.
President Maithripala Sirisena, releasing his message in lieu of Ramadan, says that the period of fasting practice in Islam could be described as a noble quality of self-sacrifice.
Issuing a message to mark the Eid ul-Fitr, President Maithripala Sirisena extended his best wishes to all followers of the Islamic faith as they celebrate the Eid ul-Fitr at the conclusion of the Ramadan fast. According to the President, they fast during the day in order to physically undergo the pangs of hunger suffered by the poor brethren, displays a noble quality of self-sacrifice. Issuing his message in lieu of Ramadan, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that Ramadan brings a message of peaceful coexistence, sharing and harmony to all. Adding to the wishes, Leader of the Opposition R. Sambandhan says that the day of Ramadan brings great meaning as it is a day common to all people from all communities in Sri Lanka and not only to Muslims. National Unity Alliance leader Asad Salih says that he prays to Allah, requesting help to keep the communalists of the country at bay. Asad Salih mentions in a view of Ramadan that the month of Ramadan is where one can perfect patience and is a month full of noble deeds.
Welcome back to the news. The residents of a number of areas in Colombo had to face hardships due to a disruption in the supply of water, which lasted over 24 hours.
The water supply to a number of areas in the city of Colombo was disrupted after a main water line that extends from the Ambatale purification plant to the Dehiwala pumping station burst. The 18-kilometer-long pipeline ruptured in the Talangama area. Nearly 5,700 cubic meters of water flows through this main pipeline in a span of 1 hour. As a result, the water supply to the areas that come under the purview of the Dehiwala Mount Lavinia municipality, as well as areas such as Vallavatta, Killapana, Pamankada, Havelock, Bambalapitiya, Kolpiti, Palavatta, Jantipura, Mulleriyawa, Ambatale and Koilavatta were affected. The failure in the pipeline occurred at around 3 p.m. yesterday and lasted till this evening. The water line, which had been laid in the year 1966, was last refurbished 10 years ago. 70 workers toiled for nearly 15 hours in order to restore the water supply. The public was severely inconvenienced due to the disruption of the water supply.
People have been helpless from yesterday. There is no water to drink from morning.
We did not have water to drink from yesterday. The children are suffering because of this.
The events that were organized in the mosque were all disrupted as a result. We were inconvenienced greatly. There was no water to prepare our food, nor did we have water to drink or bathe this morning. There has been a major delay in the repairs connected to this because of the high voltage power line that runs just above it. When carrying out development activities, attention should be drawn towards the constructions that are done around main lines that carry water to the main cities. There needs to be a control with regard to that. We are faced with a question as to why this line was not renovated. This line was very old. Attention should have been paid to it when launching development activities. We can see that attention has not been directed to refurbishing this line, which is more than 50 years old, that carries water to the public living in the capital. We cannot ascertain the exact reason behind this disruption. Similar lines operate in other countries around the world for more than 100 years. There are lines that are 100 or 120 years old in Sri Lanka as well. There are reports of only 5 or 6 lines bursting out of around 3,000 such lines in a span of 50 years. The solution for this is not to abandon such lines. We have to come up with a program to get water to the Dehiwala pool and other locations using alternate methods. We have prepared such a plan as well.
Today marks day 2 of the annual Asala Perahara of the historic Katharagama temple. Newsfirst, together with the Sirsa Media Network, are the media sponsors of the annual procession.
This is Vasana, the tusker who parades the streets carrying the sacred relics of the Katharagama Devalaya during the Ruhunu Katharagama Asala festival. Vasana, who is a descendant of a proud line of tuskers that date back to the time of King Dutugamnu, is entering his 30th year of service at the Katharagama Devalaya. Vasana, who is turning 45 years of age, doesn't only serve the Lord of Katharagama. Every year, he travels to Kandy to be a part of the Asala Perahara of the temple of the sacred tooth relic.
My father looked after the elephants first. I learned by hiding and observing my father. I walked behind elephants without my father's knowledge. After walking behind and thinking, I also understood that I can take care of elephants. After that, I got into the line of work together with my father.
Vasana is being purified by the water of the Maniganga in order to perform her duties once more tonight.
Your life, our news.
Now in sports news, hosts England emerged victorious against Sri Lanka as they managed to win the sole T20 match of Sri Lanka's tour of England by 8 wickets.
Addressing a media briefing in Colombo this morning, Chairman of Sri Lanka Cricket, Tilanga Sumathipala, stated that Sri Lanka's performance during the tour of England, there is an improvement in the batting department. However, the bowling and fielding efforts of the team were unsatisfactory. We could have performed better throughout this tournament. We need to accept that our professional sportsmen are not capable of facing such a challenge. They lack the training, and they also lack the second and third tier players. However, there is no question about their natural talents.
The Meanwhile, in other cricket news, the International Cricket Council has decided to provide compensation to Sri Lankan opening batsman Kusal Janit Perera, who was cleared of all charges against doping. The decision was made at the ICC's annual conference in Edinburgh, Scotland.
During the ICC's annual conference, we made a strong case for the ICC to provide compensation to us in his behalf. The ICC was with us on this request. All members of the council agreed to pay the amount spent on behalf of the player and also an additional amount as well. The main cause for this is the lab in Qatar. It has been internationally blacklisted. Even WADA has decided not to use that lab again.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Dasni Athaga.
And I'm Shane Silva. It was a pleasure having you with us. Take care and good night.